I am making a updated Gladiator Beast deck profile. I had stopped playing this deck for a while just because I was wanting to play other decks like Branded Despia. But I recently put it back together, tested it against a couple of the meta decks like Branded Despia, Sword Soul, and other decks like that. The only deck that this deck really had issues against was Floowandereeze. And that's because they're a stupid deck. I hope the field spell gets banned. Either the field spell or their starchers gets put to 1. Anyway, enough of my salt. Start off with the monsters. I play 3 copies of Test Panther. The only effect you use of this card in this deck is as an extender of when you control Gladiator Beast, it's a free summon. You don't ever really tribute Test Tiger to then target Gladiator Beast you control. Shuffle it into the deck and summon another Gladiator Beast as if it was summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast. But all the Gladiator Beast monsters in this deck share the similar effect of, if they're summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast, they have a unique effect they can use. At the end of the battle phase that they battle, you can shuffle them back into the deck for cost to then summon another Gladiator Beast from your deck. Anyway, on to another support monster. 3 copies of Rescue Rabbit, because Gladiator Beast Ondal is an important monster in this deck. You summon it, banish it, summon 2 Ondal. And hope your opponent doesn't have Ash, because otherwise that's going to hurt. Anyway, I play 1 copy of Atorix, 1 Bestiary, and 1 Equest. Atorix, when summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast, lets you Foolish another Gladiator Beast from your deck, so then copy its name and level. Bestiary lets you target a spell or trap on the field and destroy it when it's summoned by a Gladiator Beast. And Equest lets you target a Gladiator Beast spell or trap in the grave and return it to your hand. Then I also play the 1 copy of Gladiator Beast Darius. Darius just lets you Monster Reborn level 4 or lower Gladiator Beast. Or at least I believe that's to be level 4 lore. Let's see. No. Darius just lets you bring back any Gladiator Beast. I was wrong without that. It's just usually use it to summon a quest. The only downside is that monster has its effects negated. Then I play 3 Ondal. Ondal being one of the most important monsters because of Rescue Rabbit. If you're not playing Rescue Rabbit in this deck, then you don't need to be playing 3 Ondal. But I also don't see why you wouldn't, since Rescue Rabbit plus 1 of the 3 spells is full combo. But to finish off the Gladiator Beast monsters, I play 2 copies of Endabata, Augustus, and 1 Vespasius. Augustus has the effect of when it is summoned by a Gladiator Beast, it lets you summon another Gladiator Beast from your hand. And then Vespasius, if an attack is declared involving a Gladiator Beast, it can summon itself. And if it's summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast, it gives all your monsters additional 500 attack points. Moving on to the hand traps, I play 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Just during your opponent's main phase, you can target 1 monster that your opponent controls, negate its effects. And you can use that effect as many times as you want. Then I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, just to say no to anything that would let you add a card from deck to hand, summon a monster from deck, or send a card from deck to grave. Then I play 3 copies of Sideframe Gamma and 1 Driver. Gamma's in this deck just as an insurance policy to help the rabbit, because usually your opponent will Ash the rabbit, but if you have Gamma, then you get the 2 Ondals off of rabbit, and then Gamma and Driver, which is a really great feeling when you can do that. But that is it for the monsters. Also, the 1 Driver's in the deck just because Gamma has to summon a Sideframe Driver. For anyone who doesn't know, and I apologize for that loud noise, as at the moment I cannot edit anything out of a video, to my knowledge, and a large folded table just fell. Anyway, Moving on to the spells, I play one copy of Mind Control, just because this deck wants to go first, but it can also go second and try to break boards. But Mind Control just lets you target one monster your opponent controls and take control of it until the end of the turn. It can't attack, nor can it be tributed for a tribute summon. And I also play the one copy of Change of Heart. Yeah, for the same person as Mind Control. The reason these are good is because your main Link 2 monster in this deck just requires 2 monsters, with at least one being a gladiator beast. And I have been watching some banlist prediction videos. And apparently some people are actually thinking Change of Heart can go to 3, which if it does, then Gladiator Beast will be a strictly go second deck. Then I play 3 copies of Gladiator Proving Ground. Proving Ground lets you add a level 4 or lower Gladiator Beast from your deck to your hand, which usually you want a Torix in your hand if you can make the Test Panther. And then I play 3 copies of Gladiator Beast Comeback. This lets you summon a Gladiator Beast monster from your graveyard, as long as it has a different type from monsters you currently control. And then the summoned monster also cannot be destroyed by battle. Then I play 3 copies of Gladiator Rejection. Rejection is the reason that Rescue Rabbit and this are full combo, because this makes it so that your opponent cannot target your Gladiator Beast monsters outside of the battle phase. Your opponent cannot target your Gladiator Beast monsters. And then if a Gladiator Beast is summoned from your deck, then you can summon another Gladiator Beast with a different type for monsters you control. And you can only use each effect of Gladiator Rejection once per turn. But the reason this and Rescue Rabbit are 2-card combo is because you summon Rescue Rabbit, activate this. Rabbit's effect... You activate this, then you summon Rabbit. Activate Rabbit's effect, summon 2 Ondal. This will trigger letting you summon any Gladiator Beast that is not a Beast Warrior. So usual time I'll summon either a Quest or Bestiari. Summon those. Link off the Ondal and Bestiari for Test Panther. Test Panther will search for a Torix. And then you activate its effect. Target the Ondal it's still usually controlled. Shuffle it into the deck. Summon Augustus. Augustus summons a Torix. A Torix then sends Vespasius to grave. Return a Torix and Vespasius to the deck to then summon Tamer Editor. Tamer Editor then summons Gladiator Beast Domitianus. And then, with that, you have Tamer Editor, Test Panther, and Domitianus. And you still have 3 or 4 cards left in hand. And then to finish off the main deck, I then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, just so that you can target one monster your opponent controls, negates effects. You can activate from your hand if you control no cards. But if it was set on the field, it negates all spells and traps in its column when it resolves. And that is it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. The extra deck can probably be improved a bit, but for now it's how I like it. But it's overall still really good. Being 1 copy of Cross Sheep, 1 copy of IP Masquerena, and what should be 1 copy of Link Spider, but I can't find my Link Spider, so for now I'm playing Borosword. Link Spider is a Link 1 that acquires 1 normal monster, and its effect lets you special summon a normal monster to zone it points to. The whole point of Link Spider is so that this deck can actually still continue to play through something like Nibiru, but I cannot find my Link Spider anywhere, so I'm playing Borosword for now. The Cross Sheep just says if an extra monster is summoned to a zone it points to, you can activate its effects depending on what monster it points to, which in this case is always going to be Fusion, which lets you monster your one level 4 lower monster from your graveyard. And IP Masquerena, in this deck, you literally only use it to make one of the main Link 4 in this deck, so that it can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects. But it also has the effect of, during the main phase quick effect, you can activate its effect to link using monsters you control as link material. And then Boreal Sword it can't be destroyed in battle. If it battles an opponent's monster, or if it attacks an opponent's monster, it steals half of its attack points. You can switch a monster on the field to defense position quick effect to then be able to get 2 attacks, your opponent can't respond to that effect. Then I play 2 copies of the all-important Test Panther and 1 copy of Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. And Test Panther, when linked summon, lets you add a Gladiator Beast card from deck to your hand, so you can add a Torix, Comeback, anything from your deck to your hand as long as it has Gladiator Beast in its name. And then once per turn you target a Gladiator Beast monster you control, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, summon another Gladiator Beast from your deck, summon as if it was summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast. And then Appaloosa gains 800 attack for each different monster used for link summoning. So if you use 3, it has 2400 attack. Use 4, it has 32. And then it has the effect where it loses 800 attack points to negate an opponent's activated monster effect. And Appaloosa is a monster you want to make in this deck with IP Masquerena, where it'll make so that your opponent can't just Raigeki or Lightning. Oh, I want to say Lightning Vortex, but I know that's wrong. Lightning Storm, last thing you know. They can't just do that to get rid of the Appaloosa and you can move on. Then, moving on to the fusions, I play 2 copies of Gladiator Beast Geyserus. Geyserus has the effect of when it's special summoned, you can just target 2 cards on the field, destroy them. And then at the end of the battle phase of a battle, you can shuffle it back into the extra deck to then special summon 2 Gladiator Beast monsters from your deck. Then I play 3 copies of what I think is one of the most important fusion monsters this deck. 3 copies of Gladiator Beast Tamer Editor. I have seen people play 2, but I really like having the 3rd one available if needed. Tamer Editor has the effect of it must be special summoned from your extra deck by shuffling the above monsters you control into the deck. All Gladiator Beast fusion monsters in this all Gladiator Beast fusion monsters are contact fusions, so you just shuffle all materials on your field back into the deck to summon them. But it cannot be used as fusion material. And then once per turn, you can special summon 1 Gladiator Beast fusion monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. The best part of this card is the fact that it's not once per turn, so you can use Gladiator Beast Comeback to summon Tamer Editor back as many times as you want. And every time you summon back Tamer Editor gets to summon another Gladiator Beast monster. I have had end boards where Tamer Editor was able to summon 2 to 3 Domitianus and 1 copy of Heraclinos. But Gladiator Beast Heraclinos has the effect of, if your opponent would activate a spell or trap card, then you can discard 1 card, negate that spell or trap card, and if you do, destroy it. But the best part of Heraclinos is it's not once per chain or even once per turn. So as long as you have hands, as long as you have cards in your hand, then you can just keep discarding to negate opponent's spells and traps. And then to finish off fusion monsters, I play 3 copies of Gladiator Beast Domitianus. Domitianus is probably my favorite monster in this deck, just because of how it's a 3,500 attack monster that lets you control your opponent's battle phase. As when they declare an attack, you get to choose their attack target. And then, if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can negate that effect, and if you do, destroy it. And that is it for my Gladiator Beast deck profile. If you have any ideas of what I can do to improve the deck, and decks like to see me make deck profiles of, or decks like to see face each other, feel free to comment down below. Thanks for watching.